Hello everyone, welcome back to TechBlog 66, the channel where classic cinema meets deep storytelling. Today, we're diving into a timeless Japanese masterpiece, Sanjuro, released in 1962 and directed by the legendary Akira Kurosawa. If you love sharp wit, unforgettable characters, and cinema that balances humor with philosophy, then Sanjuro is a film you absolutely need to talk about. Now, before we begin, it's important to know that Sanjuro is technically a sequel to Kurosawa's Yojimbo from 1961. But don't worry, you don't need to watch Yojimbo first to enjoy this film. Sanjuro stands perfectly on its own, with its own tone, rhythm, and charm. The story and setting. The story begins in a quiet town, where 9 young samurai gather in secret. They believe corruption has infected their clan, and they want to expose it. However, their idealism is matched only by their lack of experience. They talk big, but they don't really understand the dangers ahead. That's when they meet Sanjuro, played brilliantly by Toshiro Mifune. Sanjuro is a wandering ronin, scruffy, cynical, and clearly unimpressed by youthful enthusiasm. Unlike the noble samurai of legend, Sanjuro is practical, sarcastic, and brutally honest. From the very beginning, the contrast is clear. The 9 samurai represent purity, tradition, and moral certainty. Sanjuro represents experience, ambiguity, and survival. As the plot unfolds, Sanjuro reluctantly becomes their guide, helping them navigate political deception, betrayals, and deadly power struggles within their own clan. What makes the story compelling is not just the external conflict, but the internal one. The film constantly asks a simple but powerful question. Is moral purity enough to survive in a corrupt world? Toshiro Mifune as Sanjuro. Toshiro Mifune's performance is the soul of this movie. His Sanjuro is not heroic in the traditional sense. He scratches himself, yawns, looks bored, and often appears annoyed by the young samurai's speeches about honor. Yet, beneath the rough exterior is a sharp mind and a quiet sense of responsibility. Mifune uses body language masterfully. The way he slouches, the way he slowly turns his head before speaking, and the way he casually rests his hand near his sword all communicate power without exaggeration. One of the most fascinating aspects of Sanjuro's character is his relationship with violence. He doesn't glorify it. He uses it only when necessary, and when he does, it's sudden, precise, and shocking. Kurosawa makes sure the audience understands that violence is not beautiful, but unavoidable in certain worlds. Direction by Akira Kurosawa. Akira Kurosawa's direction in Sanjuro is confident and playful. While Yojimbo had a darker, grittier tone, Sanjuro leans more toward humor and irony, without ever losing depth. Kurosawa uses framing and movement brilliantly. Characters are often arranged in lines or groups to show hierarchy and confusion. The young samurai frequently move together, while Sanjuro stands apart, visually reinforcing his outsider status. The pacing is tight. There is no wasted scene. Every conversation advances character or plot. Kurosawa also uses silence effectively. Sometimes, the most powerful moments happen when no one speaks at all. Themes and meaning. At its core, Sanjuro is a film about wisdom versus idealism. The young samurai believe that being morally right is enough. Sanjuro knows that the world doesn't work that way. He teaches them that patience, strategy, and understanding human weakness are just as important as honor. Another major theme is restraint. There is a famous scene near the end where Sanjuro warns against excessive swordsmanship. He explains that true strength lies in knowing when not to draw the sword. This idea feels especially powerful in a genre often dominated by action and combat. Kurosawa also subtly critiques authority. The film shows how power can corrupt, and how blind loyalty can be dangerous. Yet, it never becomes preachy. Everything is conveyed through character interaction and narrative choices. Action and swordplay. Although Sanjuro is not action-heavy, the sword fights it does contain are unforgettable. The final duel, in particular, is legendary. It is short, silent, and explosive. One sudden movement changes everything. Unlike modern action films filled with constant motion, Kurosawa builds tension through stillness. When the sword finally strikes, it feels earned, shocking, and meaningful. This approach influenced countless filmmakers, from Sergio Leone to Quentin Tarantino. You can see the DNA of Sanjuro in modern cinema, even today. Cinematography and music. The black-and-white cinematography is crisp and expressive. Light and shadow are used to create mood and emphasize moral uncertainty. Interior scenes feel claustrophobic, while outdoor scenes offer a sense of fragile freedom. Masaru Sato's musical score complements the film perfectly. The music is playful at times, serious at others, and always in sync with the tone of the scene. It never overpowers the moment, but gently guides the viewer's emotions. Why Sanjuro still matters. Even though Sanjuro was released in 1962, it feels surprisingly modern. Its humor is sharp, its characters are layered, and its message remains relevant. In a world where people often rush to judgment, act impulsively, and cling to ideals without understanding reality, Sanjuro feels like a reminder to slow down, observe, and think. It's a film that entertains while quietly teaching. It makes you laugh, but it also makes you reflect. That balance is incredibly rare. Final thoughts. Sanjuro is not just a samurai movie. It is a character study, a moral lesson, and a masterclass in filmmaking. Toshiro Mifune delivers one of the most iconic performances in cinema history, and Akira Kurosawa proves once again why he is considered one of the greatest directors of all time. If you enjoy intelligent storytelling, subtle humor, and films that respect the audience's intelligence, then Sanjuro deserves a place on your watch list. This is a movie that doesn't shout its brilliance. It whispers it. And those whispers stay with you long after the credits roll. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to TechBlog 66 for more classic movie discussions and deep dives into world cinema. Until next time, keep watching great films, and keep questioning the stories they tell. This movie is available on YouTube free.